Hey everyone, I'm going to be displaying my team that I use for Rift. It does not have Wukong simply because I forgot to pull Wukong. I didn't realize how good it would be for Rift. And it doesn't have Ray for those who just don't have Ray. They pretty much do the same things, which is heal and provide immunity. I do have a Ray, but I'm showing Bernard because it's just less requirements and easier to have. For our tank, we have Senya. For our defense break, we have Bellona. For our main DPS is Vivian, and our healer, of course, is Bernard. So with this, if you already have this team and you've been trying it out, you might realize that at first, it takes quite a lot of runs, and that's normal. When I first started, it took like 4 to 5 runs, and I thought I was doing something wrong, but I just needed more RC levels. So at around, I'd say probably before RC 15, you would be close to 2-shotting, or already 3-shotting at least, which is good enough. And once you get to 2-shotting, it's already better than Rift, or better than Hunt actually. And once you get to 21, it's pretty high chance of you 1-shotting most of the time. So these are the current fragments I have. The first one is obvious. You have your main DPS is AoEs with Bellona and Vivian, so you take the AoE fragment. Second one is to help cycle Vivian's S2 and make her a little bit more tanky. Third one is to help cycle Senya's S3. Both of these skills just help keep more tentacle debuffs. And the last one's the most important one, which you won't get till 21, but once you do, basically every time Bellona uses an AoE, it extends the debuffs by 1, which helps stick the debuffs because every time the boss ults, it takes off some debuffs by like 1 turn, I believe. And so this helps stick it on for the maximum amount of damage that your team can deal. So these are the stats. Senya's decently strong, decently tanky. All she really needs to do is do damage and survive. You probably don't need as much defense stats or don't need as much damage, but these help guarantee more consistent runs. For her EE is to help her survive a bit more, heal herself when she attacks with S1 and after she counters. At first I had Steadfast Gatekeeper to help her survive, but once I realized she is tanky enough on her own, I swapped to her Spear. You can swap to any damage boosting artifact to help just deal more damage. For our defense breaker, we have Bellona. The most important thing here is damage, speed. Ideally, she's slightly behind Vivian in terms of speed as well. But the most important thing is effectiveness to be 105% so that she can land her defense break consistently. And Rage helps her deal a lot of damage. For her EE, helps cycle her S2. And it's very important you try to get as high as effectiveness on the EE as possible to help relieve some of the gear differences that you may have. She's on Bloodstone to help healing, as my Bernard is on spare gear and he's really bad, or not really bad, but not that good as you'll see soon. My Vivian, my mage damage, she's on Destruction. 100% crit, high crit damage, high attack. You don't need her that tanky. She needs to be slightly faster than Bellona. There might be speed RNG, but for the most part you want her faster than Bellona so she attack buffs into Bellona S3. Her equipment is to help cycle after she uses her S3. And Kaladra. Some people actually use Radiant Forever, which when max is increased damage by like 50% whenever you use an AoE, which is stronger, but not necessary. If you feel yourself being damage capped, then you would want to max it, but I don't really want to max an artifact just for it when Kaladra is just good enough. For Bernard, as you can see, he's not that good. ER is kind of wasted. You don't really need ER when you have immunity already cycling. 200 speed. He can be fastest or second to fastest for Senya. It doesn't really matter. 17,000 HP, not that high. 1400 defense, not that high either. And I have him on a support artifact, which just helps crit chance, as my Bellona, if you noticed earlier, does not have 100%, because I was trying to maximize my effectiveness. So with Bernard's artifact, she's at 97, which is good enough, once again. And the effectiveness would help if you aren't at 105% already. And this is my Ray, which would be slightly better, but once again, you don't need it. Bernard is good enough. So then, these guys don't matter. You're not going to be using it. Pet. Ideally, you have triple S to help just gain more out of your riff runs. And so let's just run.
Northern wind, grant us strength. I can hear them. These vengeful voices.
I'll wrap things up quickly.
Forbidden spell. Destroy all. Can you hold out for more? All is done. Until the end. Shall we? I've lived for this moment. How dare you? I present to you the greatest magic. May the grace of the battlefield be with you.
You'll regret facing me.
You might not like this.
I can hear them. These vengeful voices. Entertain me, please.
How dare you? Destruction. Answer my call.
Until the end. My spear will not dull. Until it pierces the heart of my enemy.
All is done.
Can you hold out for more?
Please be careful.
And so you could see at the end there, I had like two left. Two turns or attacks left, which was my Vivian Bellona, so it wasn't even close. And this sometimes helps if you accidentally miss a defense break or something just goes wrong. But the team was strong enough to one shot and miss out on two attacks from Bellona and Vivian. So one of the things I also forgot to mention is if you're lacking damage, leveling up your skill enhancing helps a lot. What else? Maxing your artifacts. Just certain things that will help you maximize more damage if you're lacking the gear for it. But I'd say the gear stats are decently hard to try and get. If you can only 2-run, I would still do it over hunt. And you would slowly farm your rage or destruction set that you need to then one-shot. But that's pretty much it.